friends, Sonia here. It's Wednesday, March 30th. Hope you're having a great day so far. I haven't been doing a video lately. My dad was under the weather. He had a pain issue that took him to emergency a couple of times, and I stayed with him for about a week. And then my husband stayed with him for this past weekend. And by Monday, Dad was feeling well enough to be on his own. He's on some medication, prescribed medication, and he's getting things looked after. So, one interesting thing, he had his first ever in his lifetime physio appointment yesterday. That was recommended by his GP. And my dad commented this morning that for the first time in a very long time, he was able to sleep on his left side. That's where he has a sciatica issue. We discovered it's been diagnosed. And also there's something going on with the kidney on that side too. So they could be related. We're just got to wait and see. He's got another update coming from a specialist this Friday. So fingers crossed that'll all turn out well, but I needed consequently, once I got home and my husband took over looking after Dad for a couple of days, I needed to rest up myself. So yeah, yesterday was the first day I got into my crafting again, and I'm just going to bring you up to date on what I'm working on. Today I'm planning on finishing this off. So I don't know if you can see this, or is this upside down, or is that right side up, but this is just Dollar Tree parchment paper. It is 12 inches this way, and it's a roll of 30 inches that way. And I decided to make some cutlery pouches. In the summer, I've got a big milestone birthday coming, and I'm going to spend it with some friends and family. We're going to have a weekend celebration, basically. A COVID safe one. Everything's going to be pretty well outdoors. Everybody's got their own sleeping bubbles and the meals. But my concern was, with that many people, I didn't want to use plastic utensils, like too much waste. I wanted to do something so that no one in my family would get burdened with doing a lot of extra dishes, because where we're going to have the party, we don't actually have, how do I put this? Running hot tap water is limited. It's only in 1 or 2 spots. So here's my idea. I decided every person is going to get their own set of cutlery. We have lots of cutlery, so they're going to get a set given to them when they arrive. And I'll just pull it out to show you what it looks like when it's all finished. Let me just throw these in the bag here. This one's a bit better. So this is what it's going to look like when it's all finished. And there's space, a label here for them to make their names. Just want to maybe explain to you what we've got going on here. I made this little belly band, it's out of my spare book pages, glue pages, and I just ink dyed the edges. I made these little embellishments. It's just from a paper pad I picked up at Dollar Tree, a little 6x6 paper pad. It's made out of craft paper. It's got little gold foil dots on it, which is really cute. I just took a piece of book page. I did a rubber stamp on it. It kind of looks like a dandelion stamp, and then I just added, that was done in black ink, and then I just added some little white dots to give it some dimension. And yeah, this is just my coffee dyed book pages, this part here. Cut out circles. And then I made these little tags and I laminated them. And what they say is in consideration of COVID safety and the environment, we ask that you wash and reuse this cutlery for your meals this entire weekend. Dish soap, hot top, what? Let me try that again. In consideration of COVID safety and the environment, we ask that you wash and reuse this cutlery for your meals this entire weekend. Dish soap, hot tap water, and paper towels are available in the wash house. At the end of your stay, please place your cutlery set in the designated basket in the wash house. Thank you in advance for your cooperation. So yeah, that was just a way of everybody looking after their own cutlery, being responsible for it, better for the environment. And there's the handy little pouch. This will get, basically they'll be in a basket for people to pick one up at the very first group meal. And when I say group meal, the tables are all going to be separate. There's a maximum number of people at each table to keep within COVID guidelines, and they're going to be spaced apart appropriately. So yeah, we're going to do everything we can to ensure it's a fun but also safe weekend. And because of COVID risks, unfortunately, I have restricted the invitees to people who are fully vaxxed. Have to keep it that way. And there's some guests, actually, it's really just my immediate family and my dad and then some high school friends of mine and my husband's. So yeah, we're keeping it very small on purpose. I just wanted to show you though, what I did is I took the parchment paper roll and I ripped off pieces that were 7 inches wide. So it's 7 inches this way and it's 12 inches this way. Okay, so there's the paper. I better grab another one. I just realized this one has a cut on it. And then what I did, we'll just move this finished one to the side. I made myself a template. So here's my template. I just marked off lines where I would fold and fold, fold, fold. So I thought I would show you just really quick my process for making these bags. The important thing about parchment paper, it's made so that nothing will stick to it. So you have to use a very good glue to get this to stick together. Otherwise, it won't work. But I use something called Art Institute glitter glue. It's art glitter glue. And it works wonderfully. It dries completely clear. It's quick drying, and I use that for all my paper crafting. So I'm just marking off now based on my template where the lines are. And then up here, I'm just going to fold it over. This will be the flap. I'm going to, because I do want there to be a flap so that the cutlery will remain clean and sanitary until the people pick it up and begin using it. So there's my one fold. Put my template away. Now I just fold this in the middle. And what's nice is because I've got the straight cut edges straight off the roll, this edge and this edge, I can just line everything up. It doesn't matter if the other edges aren't lined up, aren't straight, because as long as I keep this matching here and this matching here, I've got my straight edge. It doesn't matter if my seam is a little bit crooked when I ripped it off the roll or not. So now I'm just going to use my art glitter glue. Put that right down the edge there. And I'm already going to take, I think I told you before, I love these little facial wipes from Dollar Tree. It's a staple in my crafting for when I'm gluing, and you'll see why in a minute. So when I use my handy dandy little tool here, I'm actually going to push excess. What happens, the excess glue comes out. So I just wipe that, I wipe this, I wipe my, and then I don't have any issues there with glue. And because my wipe is a little bit damp, I don't want my parchment paper to get saturated with damp. It is moisture resistant, but it's not completely waterproof. So we'll do that, and then we'll just fold this edge over here. Again, a little bit. This time I'm going to put some glue on the inside so it glues it really nice and strong right there. Fold it over. And now I'm going to, basically what I'm doing here is I'm kind of triple reinforcing the bottom, because my thought was the bottom is where most of the weight will, it'll carry most of the weight of the cutlery, and cutlery is a good cutlery isn't exactly the lightest. Just fold that over. Again, just dab off the excess with my wipes. Dry it a bit. This, by the way, that I'm working on this surface, it's a silicone mat. This one happens to be by Fiskars company. But know what? The great thing is you could just use a silicone baking mat. You don't have to get a special one for crafts. And the advantage is the silicone stops the paper from sliding around, because my desk here is glass, which is perfect for other things, but not for when I'm working with slippery parchment paper. So all I'm going to do right now, I'm going to snip the top here, because my flap, I just want a flap on one side. So I'm just snipping this down the edge up to where my fold line is. This is going to be the inside. So again, I'm just doing a triple kind of reinforcing thing here. And that's so that when people put their cutlery in and out of the bag, it won't tear as easily. It's going to have a nice, see, I didn't snip this one far enough. I got to go a little bit further down. There we go. And then just fold that over. And there we got a nice reinforced edge. Turn this into flap just by eyeballing it and cutting off the corners. You could get picky here, and if you wanted to, you could cut off one corner like this and then flip it over and cut it off the other side. But who's going to be that picky about this anyway, right? So then I've got my belly bands here. I've got my labels. Picked up this sheet at Dollar Tree too. It's a pack of 18, and guess what? That's exactly the number I happen to want. So I'm just gonna, the thing I mentioned before, parchment paper, not everything sticks to it. So this adhesive that they gave, that this is on the stickers, isn't sufficient enough. You need to glue it onto. So I'm just gonna put that there, use my handy dandy little Teflon-y craft treat tool to ensure that it's nicely adhered. And here I'm going to use my art glitter glue, and I'm just going to put that on here. Put that right about there. I'm not measuring anything, I'm just eyeballing. I did a sample at the beginning and discovered, okay, I don't like that style. This was my first style. It had the label at the top, the belly band down below. I didn't like that one. So if you don't like something, you just keep doing it until you like what you have. And here's what I like. And now I'm going to give this, I'm not going to do this super tight because the cutlery is going to fill up the bag. So I need to glue this with a little bit of extra give, so to speak. So just going to go like this and like this. So this part of the belly band, the decoration, isn't getting glued to the bag, it's loose, and that's intentional. Like I said, this is simply book paper that was left, book pages that were left over from one of my journals I made. I removed the book pages from inside and I used the cover to make my own journals. So this is just leftover book page. This is not coffee dyed. This is just inked around the edges with Tim Holtz vintage color distress ink. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take one of my little labels, the ones that explain that this is in consideration of COVID and the environment. Please wash your own cutlery and use it for the weekend. Just gonna take this. By the way, this gold thread, this is actually, I believe, it used to be used for crocheting is what I remember back when I was a kid. You know, people would crochet things with this, but I got it at a thrift store. Happened to get it at a thrift store in Lac La Hache. They had a couple of rolls, so I picked that up there. Now I'm just going to knot it, and then we are done. There we go. Clip that off. If you wanted to get picky so it doesn't fray, like you can see it frays immediately, one way to stop that is just dab a little bit of glue on the edge. This works for any ribbon or string. You dab a little glue. Another way it works with some things is you take a lighter and just melt the end. But I'm not one of those people who likes to use fire particularly, not since my accident. I want to keep myself safe and the house safe, so just going to put the cutlery in there. And I'm looking around my desk right now going, where did I put that cutlery? Goodness gracious. Oh, it's still in the other pouch, of course. It's in the pouch I showed you at the beginning. So now we have another pouch done. I actually saved this pouch to show you how I make it, because all my pouches are made now. I just need to do the gluing and embellishing. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have any comments about whether you like this idea about using cutlery when you're having a group get together on a weekend, let me know in the comments. That would be great. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye-bye.